Hello. Just usual. Covering episode 3 of just going over my life. Like I did it 8 years ago. I just sat down, recorded, uploaded it, and I have not watched any of them since. I've had them analyzed, but I've not watched any of them since. Recorded them, uploaded them, and they've just been sitting there for 8 years. So, and this ain't a reactive video or any of the sort. This is more just going with whatever is there. It's hard to explain. As far as, and again, usual spiel, it gets annoying having to explain it over and over and over again. I am speaking, simply expressing from my being, from my own experiences, from my own understanding, and that is it. I am not dictating anything over anyone else. I am not telling anybody else what to think, how to feel, how to be. Nothing. I am just speaking on from myself, my being. That's it. And what is my being? It is the underlying constant that is me, the singularity of me, my own singular existence, aware and observing everything else from within this body. That's my being. Observing from within. To put another simple word, it's your intangible self, but it's not the self. This is the self. The being is the intangible you within yourself. But that is, that was more along the lines of what I have read and what I have read all over the place. The intangible you. That bit, that's where I'm speaking from. I don't need to sit here and meditate to find it. I don't need to go within or look within. I have been within, outward my whole life, and that's where I'm speaking from. Let's get on with it. Which side was...
Screw it there. It's on my shirt, but not on my collar. Yeah, I got socks on this time. I shaved this. That got annoying as hell. I don't know how the hell people freaking have such, thick and long freaking mustache hair. It's just so freaking annoying. I like anything around my freaking lips. It's just aggravating as hell.
Yeah, the hair's sticking down.
Some ibuprofen. Alright. Last video, I forgot the phone again.
Everyone, it's hot. Look, I'm already sweating. Oh, cool. Now it shows the time on the app. It didn't before. I don't know if that's going to show up or not. That has been too hot. I haven't even shaved in days. I just get a shower and it's just like right back to the air conditioning. like what? Shave what though? It's like, yeah, that's what I said in the previous video. I can't grow anything here. Even after days, you could probably hardly notice it. I have not watched a single one of these videos yet. This is all brand new. Well, new and yet not. I forgot a point I was just trying to make too. This will be whatever it is.
And it just abruptly just went, sitting there talking, all of a sudden, beep, beep, beep. And that was the fucking camera saying, fuck you, it's over. But actually, the battery doesn't die, and the SD card doesn't fill up. Actually, I guess it can only record up to an hour and a half. Then you gotta can basically shut it off and hit record again.
Which this is an hour and 32 minutes.
Because yesterday, when I shut it off, I put everything away. Went to put it in my pocket again, and I hit the record button. It started recording again. So I'm like, what the hell?
I apologize for that vape.
A little while. Let's see if the battery light's on. No. Kind of figured it would. No, it doesn't light up. I find when it shuts off again, I'm gonna hit the status button.
I'm sorry, I can't skip over anything even in the beginning because again, I've never watched these. I don't remember everything I said. Oh, that's what I meant to point out. That both then and now, this is not scripted. It just simply place the camera, hit record, and just express over my life. Whatever comes, however, whatever, no arrangement, no nothing, just hit record and go. I'm doing the same thing here that I was doing there. But I'm doing it with the past self of me, past version of me that I've never watched before. And yet I have experienced doing it before because it was me. This is so weird. It's weird because I'm not reacting to myself. I am joining my past self in contemplation and expression and everything else.
The SD card light, and then you got the battery light. Green is good, yellow is halfway, red is almost dead or filled or empty. You know. But just to finish up the last video, Tino was bringing the car back.
Yeah.
He pulled in.
Ripped the ignition out.
He said.
Destroyed it.
I don't know if he said he was coming out or he was up or what. But basically, he, in such a panic, he freaking threw the car back in the garage. And in such a rush, he ripped out the key from the ignition. Just freaking yanked it out, which actually ended up being a blessing. You know, because he
I pick Oz. Red-eared slider right next to me on my desk in the tank. No, I was just, I heard, I don't know if it was background in the video or background here, and if my kids, I hear something, I gotta be attentive. I'm always attentive.
ended up, I remember that morning, I wonder what the hell's he still doing here. And, ended up being a blessing because he got a whole new ignition and the extra keys I have didn't work anymore. So I couldn't borrow his car anymore. Which was good because, you know, if I would have got caught with his car, it would have been a whole slew of problems. My mom's car, I probably would have just got in trouble just, driving without a license.
I'm just listening, sorry. And again, I'm not editing any of this or even interruptions or what. I'll hit pause when I need to, but I'm not. This is like literally, I mean, yeah, I got to get more lamps to be able to use this instead of using my phone. I could just have my little head hanging, just my head. I'll wear a green shirt. I'll make sure I keep my arms below. And I'll just be like a neck and a head. Should I wear a green hat, cut the brim off, and just be a floating head on screen watching myself? But no, I'm talking about things I did 13, 14, 15 years old. Mostly in the summer of 14, I did a lot of that. Just being a dumb kid.
I really don't think my mom would have pressed charges and locked me up like that bad.
She probably would
I
have.
would told her, hey, I've been putting gas in it. She didn't call the cops on my brother when he did it. And he freaking left the damn thing with an empty tank of gas all the way up on the mountain.
I apologize. Like I said, I just simply decide, I record based on the most orientation, alignment of the state of my being is in right now. I could want to record something tomorrow. It could be like fresh in my mind today and want to expand on it on camera. And then the next day it could have a bad day and it could be just gone. Like it'd be more performance than just unperformed contemplation. So these are more relevant. Because things aren't very hunky-dory right now. Oh wait, see now I just had to backtrack. The reason I was saying that, I meant to say that, I was in an extremely bad state of being back then. So anything, like I know from having them analyzed, eventually I'm going to get into expressing in very negative ways. I think, I can't recall exactly, but I'm just pointing out this is 8 years ago me. I don't have a primarily negative focus anymore. Because again, when your life just happens to suck for all your life, other, whatever reasoning behind it, including others, randomness, your own, it is what it is. And I wasn't in a good place then, so just pointing that out.
Oh. Let's see. Yeah, that happened. That was the last time.
No more explanations. Let's just roll with it.
Actually, that was one of the last times I ever hung out with him, too. Tino.
It was. It was the very last time.
Request on Facebook, but like a couple of years ago, and he either never responded or declined it. Mm.
Yeah. I said that either in the last video or the one before that. Probably the last video. Yeah, this is number 3. So yeah, the last video I mentioned, I added him on Facebook a few times because, like, from my point of view, it's like I got along with him great. Other than, you know, getting set up to be freaking bullied by him, set up to be pummeled basically for what I said in the last video. The freaking so-called friends we were with, stole a pack of cigarettes off his mom that he said not to, and then they handed it to me, and then told him I did, and then he freaking proceeded to freaking beat me down for it, and I'm just like, what the, you know, like, I'm just like, what the hell's going on? One friend's like, here, hold these, and the other one, you know, 2 seconds later comes out freaking having a shit fit and, you know, swinging fists. It's like, other than that incident, I never had a negative instance with the kid. So it's like years later, and it's like you don't even want to associate on social media with somebody. It's like, I don't know. I don't know.
But I think I want to say, as far as these videos go, you know, what direction am I going to go in with them? You know, what's the purpose?
A little fan.
Basically this. I'm just going to fucking sit here in front of the camera talking to whoever wants to watch these videos about
Nobody.
my life
Nobody.
experiences. My life
Nobody.
experiences, a story, whatever you want to call it. Just
like I say, one thing I do with these videos, I don't watch them back. Now and then I have AI analyze them, or or going through a transcript. That on one side is a transcript, and the other side is an automatic AI analysis of it, summarization, etc. With these, even the damn AI software is like that. It like to sit here and watch 8-year-old videos of myself doing basically the same thing almost, just on my life, just expressing from my being, even though I really didn't understand I was doing that at the time. I did, but I didn't. I knew how to do it. I didn't exactly understand how to explain it and express it, what I was doing there, just expressing from being. But I was the subject, my life was the subject, and everything in it. Even the software is like, to be able to just sit there, watch yourself for the first time after 8 years, and not be about performance, but self, like joining the topic that was being discussed back then for the first time, but the second time, first time on camera, for it to be myself, interacting, you know, me and me for the first time. It's like, even to me, it's a little weird and cool. But for even the software to pick that up and be like, you know, it's like, I find it cool, but apparently nobody else has watched long enough to understand.
everything.
Don't mind me, I'm in a okay mood
I'm
today.
just gonna try to just keep going forward. And just keep going and going and going until current events.
94 degrees. Little fan right there, so you could hear it
Honestly, the
humming.
past, let's see, yeah, past 5 years, it's October, the past 5 years, this past August has been when all hell has started. I mean, it just...
I'm skipping too far ahead.
incomprehensible how so much freaking bad luck could fall on, well, me and my family, and just I'll get to that eventually.
Thank
I
you.
don't want to be jumping
Shut up.
around. I mean, I'm enjoying doing this, so I don't care. I mean, if nobody watches it, you know, I don't. I mean, I started this YouTube shit. I mean, well, first I was just doing it for the hell of it with motorcycle shit, and I didn't know anything about ad revenue or all that shit. Now, I really started getting into it after I found out you could earn money on YouTube. Which was after I already had a family and everything else. That's why I started looking into it, started getting it set up. Honestly, it took me about a year until I actually got around to getting it all set up, like just the whole Google account and ad revenue shit, and just setting a bank account link to it. Just actually, I didn't even finish it yet because they're screaming. Why are they always such a pain in the ass for her?
I guess they were back then too.
Well, I guess I never got it, or I never got, either they never sent it, or what was that? This past? Wait, no, they sent it to the wrong house. So I'm not sure if it forwarded. I never received it. Whatever is in
What?
between me and them, I don't fucking know. The address confirmation, PIN number. So I never confirmed my address, so you know, I basically can't get paid until I confirm my address, which I actually just did that yesterday. I had them send another one to this address because I moved last November.
Some hair caught in the new fan.
Over.
Pickles!
Started with the advertising on there with the fucking stupid commercials and shit on your videos, basically, and I'd say at least a year, at least. I've only earned $26.
Pickles.
Hey, that's a full tank of gas.
Sure won't come out yet.
Which actually, that full tank of gas, that would last me at least a month. 02 Pontiac Grand Am with 243,000 miles on it. Original
Made it
engine,
to two.
doesn't leak oil, doesn't burn oil.
Made it to
full tank of gas last.
Made it to 162,000 or 262,000 miles or 268,000 miles. And then the rockers rusted out. The bumper rusted out. I replaced the bumper, the rockers, everything. It was just, it became a lot, like one thing, then another, then another, then another. And it was like, you know what? There's too much money that has to go into it. And it was like, best car I ever had, though. I'm just skipping over the bullshit. What I know is, well, you know.
At least a month.
Who cares about hearing about my Grand Am? It's not important right now.
Yeah, I'm enjoying doing this. It's just like, I guess, a form of therapy. So, I mean, you usually do this when you go to a therapist if you need one. You know, if you got
It really was back
too much
then.
shit going on, you need somebody to talk to and stuff like that.
That's funny. That is funny. And that's what I want to point out too. The things I was saying there are even more than the things. And I've been forced into therapy as a kid I was a bad kid. Every kid that's been in trouble growing up knows how it works. Even adults with problems, you're doing wrong. Yeah, you need help with it. Because doing wrong, it's wrong for a reason. But like I said, I've been to therapy. On, you know what? That's for another time. On if it actually helped me or not. Yeah, not a little bit, but not really. Again, my issues were being related, and what I went to therapy for were issues self-related. Your state of being is not psychological. It is the influence. For me, it is the influencer on the body. I could internalize intent and everything else and make my physicality, my emotions feel sad, feel happy. I could sit here and contemplate and internalize enough where I would be physically overwhelmed, where I'm sitting here even crying. Even if I wanted to intently do that, I could. From within. Like, I don't know if that's normal or anybody else. That's what I could do. So that's why therapy never helped. My problems weren't at that level of diagnosis, of analysis. Mine were deeper issues. And that's why, but the things I'm saying here are deeper than, like, I'm just saying, I wouldn't even say all of this, or even what I'm saying now. I wouldn't be saying this before in a therapist's office. And I was in therapy until January of last year, which is when whatever happened. I went to one more session. It was still all fresh, and it was just like something changed, something happened. He kept saying, "Oh, it was an epiphany." It was just a complete reversal of orientation. Like, I can't explain it. It went from seeing nothing but negativity to flipping the coin and seeing presence, positivity, harmony, etc. So it's like, I don't need therapy now. Two sides of the coin, the issue and the problem and the solution. What's bad, what's good. So things I've said there and things I say now are even more than what me or his majority of the time said, even in the therapist's office. That's a simple way of understanding of how I'm speaking and how, like I said, I'm just letting everything out there. Like, who just lets it all out there on camera for the world, anybody at all to see? People have a hard time even performing in front of a camera, and here I am, here's me. Here's all of me. Whatever it is. People don't like it, people like it. I don't dictate anything. All I could do is present myself. That's normal to me, but hard for others. All right, enough bullshit.
This. Actually, I was looking forward to come up here and talking. Not to mention, it's just like refreshing a lot of childhood memories I forgot about.
I apologize. Yes, it is very therapeutical because instead of constantly internalizing it over and over and over and over, getting it out takes it out of there at least temporarily, until I start going over it and over and analyzing and living in the past, analyzing the past and all that nonsense that I used to do. I used to carry my entire life, all the weight on my back, all the time. Every bit of disruption, negativity, abuse, you name it, hardship, it never got off my back completely until a year and a half ago, when I just reversed it all.
Or just didn't even really think about it anymore. You know, it's just like bringing all that back.
Because.
And I mean, I'm just putting this on YouTube because I mean, I don't really look at I don't really watch any vlogs or anything like that. And anytime I see any and watch any, it's always current events or somebody talking about like something very specific. Like, you know, say, you know, somebody got in trouble last week or last year. They'll talk about that over the course of like one long ass video. I don't ever recall seeing anybody talking about everything, you know, from as much as they can from the start of their life to current. That's basically what I want to try and do. And then that fan's getting cold in here. I'm going to shut that off. Oh. I mean, I want to try and just put everything on here, everything I can remember from start to now.
Dun 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 dun. Here come the pickles. Dun 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 dun. I'm so, I love that turtle. I got a female red-eared slider on my desk in the tank. I gotta get a bigger tank and stand. Her eyes are just the same as a toad, but they're just so captivating. Especially when moving them independently. They should be like looking at you over here, but looking at something over there. And when they lock eyes on you, it's just so, it's so captivating. Like I said, I'm light. I'm okay today. I'm in a good mood. I'm chill, so don't mind me bouncing around.
The topic of me getting in trouble.
I don't care if I look like a fool.
Most of the last video, you know, going to juvie and shit like that.
Mike's in the house.
Yeah, I put this blanket behind me because it wasn't cold in here, but I've had that fan on. It's getting cold in here. I don't need to get any more sick than I already am. Me and my buddy George, I was always hanging out with him as a kid. The last two times I got in trouble as a kid, as a juvenile. Me and my buddy George, I was always hanging out with him. It was back around when PlayStation 1 first came out, or was out for less than a year. We'd always be hanging out at his house. I'd be skipping school or suspended. We'd be up all night playing like Resident Evil and shit like that. That was fun.
Yeah.
It was actually it was funny. He was working at a video rental store. I forget what. Damn it! How was that called? I don't think it was. No, it wasn't Hollywood Video. I forget what the hell it was called. But he would be renting. He didn't own a PS1. He was renting one from work. I think he needed like $100 deposit to rent it for like 3 days or something like that.
The damn vape.
And yeah, he used to fucking beat me up too, just like everybody else. But
But
you
that,
know what? I got along with George a lot better than any other friends.
George was a dick and a bully. He started out more as a bully, but then he just had his moments. Again, I was just an easy target growing up. That's all there is to it. I was an easy target. Decades later now, the George I knew from childhood has been the same constant George all the way to now. That spunky, that chip on the shoulder, not just basically somebody where they don't have very much fucks left to give, where they're just more. He was more authentically himself, even if he was not fully aware of it. Like, just the patterns of his behaviors, like, he was just, I don't know how to explain it. Like, you're just around somebody enough, you just, like I said, you just get to know them. And I don't mean just their physical expressional patterns. Like, I'm talking about how they are in different environments and different states of being. Like, if he's upset, grumpy, happy, chill, all different states, the underlying constant, that is George. Like, I noticed that about him, and I still noticed it about him, even when he's posting online. I've really only hung out with him once since childhood. I think that was back in 2015, 16, probably 2015. He stopped by. But then my wife was working at a third shift Price Chopper overnight grocery store, and I think he would come in there and she would tell me stories about him, like have an interaction with like police or something like that. He was given a cop a legit attitude for parking in the fire lane. And it's just like, boom, just that little bit is like, oh, yep, that's George. Like, I know him. Like, it doesn't surprise me. I've seen enough of him. I know enough of him to be like, yeah, that's him. I could see the underlying authenticity that is always present, that is him. That's what I observed. And after decades later, for that to be still there, it's like, yeah, I knew him. I know him. Even online, the same thing. Like, I can't explain it. It's not, I'm not talking about a role or the masks people wear. I'm talking about the one under that. The one that is constant in the shifts of state of being, state of self, state of environment. Again, if you're grumpy, upset, negative, positive, that underlying constant person that is always there. That's the person that matters, not anything above that. Not what they have, not what they give, not what they how much they got, what they got, any of that. That constant, it just remained. It's not that he didn't grow as a person, he grew, but that underlying George was always there. That's the same reference I use of myself. That constant me that's always been present. But my problem is I've kept that within for 4 decades. I've only just, then I started doing it. But here with these videos lately, the past year, I've been being deliberate and be like, here, I'm just going to show what I have in here, and that's it. That's exactly what I'm doing. This is what's here. Present it, and whatever. Show it. Somebody watches or not. Somebody takes it correctly or wrongly. All I can do is express and show it myself. My being, my orientation.
Even if it was just for a few years.
And I apologize, this is 40 minutes in, I've only covered exactly 15 minutes of the video. Like I said, I've been quiet. I've been primarily internally active all my life. And now, I'm letting it out. That's the simplest way I can put it. So, yeah, I have a lot to express. That's why 40 minutes ain't nothing. I could sit here and do this for days and enjoy every minute of it. And not scripted, just out.
I mean, he really.
I'm taking a break.
He freaking. I mean, he wasn't. He was a good friend more than he was a dick. So, that made up for it.
Even when he was a dick, it was more because he was a firecracker. Like, he was just somebody you did not set off because it wasn't his fuse was short in a bad way. It was somebody that just didn't take anybody's shit. Just like that. Like, it didn't matter. You step on him the wrong way, unjustifiably, and he will open his mouth every time, even at a cop illegally parking in a fire zone just to run into a grocery store in the middle of the night for coffee and donuts, or whatever it was. I forget what she said the cop was buying. Coffee and donuts, I'm pretty sure. That's just who he is. That's just who he was. Sometimes I was the victim of his outburst, and sometimes I wasn't. Most of the time I wasn't, though.
But yeah, we'd be playing Resident Evil 1 on PlayStation. No memory card. The furthest we got without a memory card was the first time you leave the mansion and you get to the garden house or whatever the hell it was called. I remember if we made it that far and we were just like, holy shit. That game, man, the first time playing, I was actually more entertained to watch him play than me playing. That was fun. That was a scary fucking game the first time.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know why they don't stick with that kind of shit.
Alright, get into it.
Aren't scary at all. But yeah, it basically ruined our friendship. Fucking. I think he was coming down to the school for something. He came to town for something. He lived a few towns up. And I skipped school. I either got a late slip and left or skipped school or whatever. But that house on Shawnee by the police station, we had to move out and move to the other side of town with my grandmother because it was either that or her going to a nursing home. She was just getting too old. That was August. Yeah, we moved out in August of 1997.
Rented it out till the end of September.
I think my mom ran out till the end of September.
Went in on October 3rd. I believe it was. Contemplating, contemplating, contemplating. I mean, I'm just sitting there internalizing everything.
Whatever.
I'm not
We moved
thinking,
out in August or September, and she.
one thing I'll point out, I'm not sitting there thinking, I am internalizing. That silence there where I'm like looking back, it's deeper than just thinking. That my ears are getting sweaty. Which again, the only reason I point that out is become going even deeper. You know, it seems like it's not that understood is all.
The hell is that?
Doing it more.
Yeah, she ran out for an extra month. Yeah, she ran out, I think, I'm almost certain it was, she ran out for September. And I think it was October 3rd. Now, I grew up in this house. I was born at that house. I was only 15. We skip school. We go in the house. I didn't have a key. So we climb in the side window. And that fucking bitch that lived next door.
That same neighbor with the frickin' ice cream. You
seen us
asshole.
and called the cops.
She was a bitch. She was just a
So we're just
raunchy old lady.
We were actually up in the attic.
Like, she was just a raunchy old lady. Just one of them nasty, bitter people. Like, that's just observation right there. I'm not condemning. That's just, who am I? Like, she is her own person. She just happens to, I just happen to observe nothing but negativity and bitterness from the person, that's all. Like, that's what I observed. Yeah, I'm sure she was nice to other people, but why do people do that? Pick and choose who to be nice and who to be mean to. Like, unless you have a real justifiable reason to just cut people off, cut somebody off, not really, I mean, being negative towards them, that's just more negativity. That doesn't bring anything into anything. I mean, if you don't like somebody, just cut them off. Just don't associate. But just to, like, be loving to your family and then treat your an innocent neighbor, innocent child neighbor, like a piece of garbage. It's like, how? Like, unjustifiably. It's like, that doesn't even intellectually make sense to me. Like, if I'm ever negative towards a person, I'm either, again, I'm reacting to my own state of overwhelmingness, or they're causing it through their own disruption themselves. Otherwise, I treat everybody accordingly. I don't add nonsense unless that nonsense becomes present. So, you know, that doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't.
Kicking holes in the walls. I mean, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be there. And it pissed me off. There was one hole that got patched.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you go up, the attic was finished. I mean, it was a furnished attic.
Drywall.
It wasn't, a bare roof or anything. It was just if it wasn't so high up in the house, it was a big freaking house. I mean, if it
Could have been an apartment.
You literally could have made it into an apartment, a studio apartment. It was that freaking
Bigger than a studio.
I mean, the third floor
Four-room
was honestly
apartment.
bigger than the second floor in this half double. What? Come up the steps, and you're right there in the first middle room. That was a big room that was finished. To you're facing a wall. To your right, all the way down was the front room, but to your left was the unfinished back room that we used as storage. And if you went in that room and went all the way to the back, there was a little cubby hole to the right, to the side, like that was right above the stairs. Where if you were to look down into the room, like the cop did, the cops kicked in the cellar door and came up after us. And you look down, you open the door, and you're looking down the wall with the flashlight. You can't see that cubby hole. So that's where we were hiding at. But that hole that got repaired that I kicked in again was right there on the other side of the wall in the middle room.
Mm-hmm.
So he walks over there and shines the light into that hole and sees us.
Come on up, boys. Enough.
So if I never kicked that hole in, we probably wouldn't have got caught. I mean, we would have known the cops were there. We would have stayed there and waited them out, and then we would have
Ran up the back.
hopped out one window or the back door and took off up the woods. But we got caught. Pretty much arrested, handcuffed, freaking everything.
Which is stupid.
I got charged.
Now I got charged with a felony too, as a kid, criminal trespass. I grew up in that house. I'm only a stupid 15-year-old kid. Yes, I was doing other things wrong, being a dumb kid, but that is one instance where I was completely ignorant. I always lived in that home. I didn't know anything about rent and legality and all that stuff. You know, I didn't know, okay, it's October 3rd, it's 3 days after the last time we paid rent. I am no longer legally allowed to go back in this house. No, I didn't understand that. Not one single bit, not any part of that thought ever entered my mind. And yet I was punished as if it was all deliberate. Good system you got there, right? Good system. I needed the what's the word? I needed the punishment for what else I was doing wrong, which is the lesson I learned for what I actually was doing wrong. But the punishment that taught me the lesson came from nonsense. I needed the education of what I did, I didn't even know I was doing wrong, more than the punishment of that single event. But what came from it was the learning of the lessons of what not to do and the other things I was doing wrong. That's why I learned a lot from getting in trouble there, which is I'll get into there. Pretty sure St. Mike's, an open juvenile detention facility, where it's more like it's an old orphanage or set up like a college dorm. They had a schoolhouse and everything, and it was just a big place. I learned more there, regular things on life and living, than I ever did at home. Even just self-care.
With criminal trespass.
Yep.
No, like I probably will know. The judge was, well, I don't know at the time, but he was he was charged with a whole bunch of corruption.
The judge.
What, 7 years ago or 6, 7 years ago? I don't know. I'm not even gonna get in there give out names or anything, but my parents knew enough.
That's my environment. I'm trying to do this. I asked my kids, they're upstairs in the air conditioning, because I got long windows down here and I don't have that type of window air conditioner. And not to mention these rooms are too big for that size anyway. Now, it's like I ask, hey, stay in here, do your thing, play your games, just be quiet about it. Not play, just be quiet about it. Let me do this, my thing, for an hour or two, or 3 sometimes. And it's like, even in my own house, and again, there are reasons why they're not quiet. Again, yes, I understand my oldest is autistic, my middle boy has a learning disability. I know they can't always help it. But me, I am still not in the environment that is adequate for me. It's still disruptive to me. It's like, is a couple or a few hours too much to ask for just minimal interruptions? And it's like, most of the time, yeah, it really is too much to ask for. And it's like, that's fucked up. Even though there's reasons behind it. Like, I'm not bashing medical disabilities. It's just the fact that, that's how my environment is. I live in it, I'll deal with it, but it doesn't always align with me. Simple as that. I'm not going anywhere because of it either.
They might have been able to, get me out of it because, I didn't know I was trespassing. It was only it was 3 days after the end of the rent. It's like, I didn't know. How am I supposed to? I thought it was my house. I grew up there. I lived there my whole life. I didn't know technicalities like that.
Legalities. Technical, legal.
Hopefully I don't have anybody newsy next door listening.
Yeah, I probably do.
I'm up here, I don't want an audience while I'm talking.
Same thing I'm doing now.
If I'm not talking to somebody, I'm talking to the camera. I'm not talking to somebody specific. I don't want them fucking watching me as I'm talking.
And I'm not even talking to the camera now.
But,
I'm just looking at the phone.
And freaking booked and everything, and get put in a detention center again for another 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got sentenced to he used this freaking term on everybody. He said to me, "You're going to St. Michael's School for an indefinite period of time till you learn how to behave."
I
learn
learned
how to behave. He used that on everybody.
But I actually learned.
Kids that didn't do anything really wrong. That he was putting away to make money for a private detention center.
Kids for cash. That's what it was.
I go to St. Mike's. It's
had nothing to do with me. This is before any of that news stuff.
I guess you can call. Back then it was a placement for juvenile criminals. I guess he's kicking the pipe.
And is the reason I got the job there years later.
It's like all the time with the kids. I don't know why.
Still does have
But there were no
problems with
locks
them.
on the doors. It was, I mean, you could get up and run anytime you wanted to. And I had a
On the
blast there. I fucking
In the
loved
placement.
it.
No locks on the doors in the placement, not the house.
I was there. I was there for 6 months residential, and then I was on day treatment for another 6 months, which is I had to finish out the school year.
Peck odds.
And of course, I dealt with bullying when I got into day treatment too. Why? This time it was because they knew I behaved. I wouldn't do anything. I was done getting in trouble. I mean, that was when I learned my lesson. No more bullshit, because I was never locked up long term more than 2 freaking weeks. Even when my mom locked me up for stealing, I was only in there for like a week or 2. But even though I had fun, that was it. I remember being there, freaking. They would pretty much check you every single morning you came. So you were bringing in contraband for any of the residential
School floor.
kids. Brock and
Pockets.
Ted
They were cool.
were the muscle on the school floor. The staff,
They're
basically.
bodybuilders.
They're freaking
Always lifting.
freaking, I wouldn't say meatheads. 2 just weightlifters. They were cool. I got along great with them. But we'd show up. They'd go checking everybody.
I mean,
I don't know how many times they said, no, he's good. I don't know. We trust him. They never. I think they checked me maybe the first week I was on day treatment, and that was it. After that, they never checked me at all.
I'm sure I'm going to say it. I know I'm going to tell the story, but one funny bit along with that, I'm the kind of person, and it really happened, I locked myself out of the juvenile detention facility when I was 15 years old. And I was cleaning offices and replacing light bulbs in the exit signs. I took the garbage out and I locked myself out, and I was banging on the door to get back in. The head of the whole place actually opened the door and was like, "You're not supposed to want to get back in here." He didn't like freak out. He just started laughing because he knew what happened.
Because, I mean, when I was there,
That's how trustworthy I always was.
there was this freaking little punk-ass kid that was half my size. And I swear these freaking wolves smell blood. I was told to behave. And you get more perks there when you behave. They had like gold level chips. So you get on certain levels every week for behaving and shit. And then I think it was like every Wednesday you go out, go to like Burger King or the movies or shooting pool, and go to the arcade, stuff like that. Well, you behave, you get a lot more perks. And I wasn't there to have fun. I was having fun. I mean, I wasn't there for a good reason. So, just behave myself. That's what I'm supposed to do. It's not hard.
Yeah.
And this kid knew that, and he just kept messing with me. He just kept messing with me and messing with me and messing with me. I remember one day in the freaking gym, playing basketball. He runs up to me out of nowhere. The basketball in his hand just goes, boom! Right square in the face. I go down on my knee because it hit me literally right in the nose. Just shaking off, and he ran away. I'm pretty sure it was that evening. And if it was, I swear I know it must have been the staff's idea to do it. But that evening, now, since I behaved, I was in, it was like a
hallway
college
room.
dorm setup. It used to be a, yeah, damn, what the hell was it? An orphan's hope.
Orphanage.
But you had the main dorm, and then about 10 feet down the hall, you had 4 separate rooms for kids who behaved themselves. Just your own personal room with, a bunk beds, 2. They put him in my room out there. He was in there an hour, if that. No staff around. I beat the shit out of him.
Not really.
I beat him up.
I didn't really beat the shit out of him. I hit him a few times, and then he just completely backed off. I ended up making friends with him, too.
Take him back to the dorm instead of me. He removes him from the privileged spot, not me. I swear they fucking knew what they were doing.
You never told me, though.
Then I got my level dropped. And that was just the intake dorm. You're there for like your first month, something like that. Then you go to a regular dorm. I get over there, and my level, I should have went, like the level system is intake silver, like you jump up every week. Intake silver, then gold 1, all the way up to gold 9, and then gold 10 is platinum 1. And then platinum is it. Like you just keep going up and up and up. I get over there, and I think I was on like gold 3. Or I should have been going on gold 3. Level came around, all of a sudden I went to gold 7. I didn't ask.
No, I didn't. Nope. Nope. I kept my mouth shut.
I asked my
Caseworker.
I don't know, sometime later. I don't
What's
know
his
when, I
name?
forget.
Crap.
But I asked him what happened. And he basically ripped up the report of me getting into a fight. He told me straight up, he's like, I know you're a good kid. So I never, on paper, I never got in trouble my entire time there. And that was actually the only time I got in trouble. Which he deserved it because he wouldn't stop messing with me. He never bothered me after that either. I mean, the kid was half my size. He was like 3 years younger than me, and I was 16. He was like 13. It's like, I mean, back then, I actually had a growth spurt. I went from freaking, like, I literally grew, I think, like, freaking 3 or 4 inches in just that whole year. I'm 6'1", 6'2"-ish. Would you bother somebody that much bigger than you? No.
Only if you knew they weren't going to do anything back. Oh, somebody's behaving. We got to mess with them.
I can't remember if we became friends or just acquaintances.
Like, that doesn't make any logical sense. Never did for even as a kid. It was
really
like dumb to me.
It's actually funny. I'll get to that later. But because of that, because me behaving and never getting in trouble and everything else, excuse me, I actually got a job there years down the road, working third shift staff. because I show up for the interview, and it was still one of the head supervisors, and he recognized me. The second he did, he took that application, tossed it aside, and just started bullshitting about old times, and I had the job, just like that.
First day was Halloween 2005. Lasted until 2012.
You know what I'm talking about? I might as well keep talking about it. But yeah, that was actually that was a good job. I was there. I worked there for 7 years. And I started out at
$8, then $8.
For Christ's sake, stop yelling. Yeah, I started there at $8 an hour. After
On a second.
7 years, I was only making $8.32 an hour. Or 6 years. The company actually sold. It was the Scranton Diocese, or the diocese that owned it, Catholic Church, and they sold it to a Muslim company in New York who had no reputation around here, and they bumped everybody up to $12 an hour, which is nice. Pissed me off. They only bumped me. Out of every single person that worked there, they bumped me up to 10. Everybody else up to 12.
That was weird. That was extremely weird coincidence for me. When we first heard, we were the workers. We were in the dorms together, working. Just watching the dorms. But there was 2 of them right across the hall from each other, so we'd sit with the doors open and just yakking away. Supervisors would be there sometimes, and they were, both of them. Maybe he's the one that did it. The old supervisor that retired. But we were talking, and this is before we had any knowledge of what we were getting bumped up to an hour. I said I'd be good with 10, and everybody else was saying 12, like hypothetically speaking. And then what happens? Everybody got a bump up. Everybody went to 12, and I went to 10. Either a very, very weird coincidence or a very big piece of crap supervisor that suggested that. Because that doesn't make that's too weird of a coincidence to be a coincidence, It ended up panning out, though, which I think I'm about to say. I don't think I can't remember if I mentioned that part, what I just said, which is why I paused it and just said it.
I mean, somewhere 3, 4, 5 months to get it fixed and find out why, which I never found out why. I was talking to everybody I could, and finally one day I finally ran into the new owner, and I asked, well, she was with the pretty much the boss that ran the place, and I was talking to her, but the owner was right there as well, and she butted in and said, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it. Next paycheck, I'm bumped up to $12 an hour, but I got back pay, basically $2 an hour for every single hour I worked since they took over.
It was like a $2,000 paycheck, or like
I checked
19.
my bank account. 2,000. I think it was it was close to $2,000 deposited back pay, and I didn't even know it was coming. So that was like, holy shit,
That's cool.
That was nuts.
I remember that too. I stopped at Turkey Hill in Plymouth, I forget. I was living down that way at the time. I forget if it was where exactly. It's funny. I stopped at the ATM to check it on payday, and instead of just seeing like whatever my regular pay was, it was had an additional like $1,900 or something like that into it, and it was like when you don't know what's coming, and you check your bank account, you got like $2,500 in there suddenly. It's like, ooh, payday on steroids. What happened? It was like, holy shit. I remember that clear as day. Like, I was like in shock, like, what the hell happened? Then you put two and two together, and it's like, oh, back pay. It's like, yeah. Tried to screw me over, and you ended up benefiting. It was like unintentional savings.
That that was a good place to work.
You know what? See, that's what I love right there. That's the other reason why I like doing this, like with these videos. It's like I just relive that whole moment internally all over again, as fresh as I could without it being, obviously, it's past tense, so obviously without it really happening. Like I could just go back into the state I was in and relive that state over again, which is so awesome.
The supervisors, personally, they were cool, great guys. Davies, I bullshit him all the time. He was okay personally. Professionally, they fucking sucked.
Yep.
They fucking sucked. Basically, if you did your job, you did it well, you got put in the worst fucking dorms. Where the kids misbehave, or there's problems. There was a few people that slept all night, didn't care, they'd get caught, and they wouldn't give a shit. And they get the easy dorms where they can keep on doing it because they knew they were going to sleep regardless, and they didn't want to deal with either the kids or deal with doing their fucking job and making these people stay up all night and do their job. Which I actually called off a lot while working there. And that's...
I'll just skip back. Repeat that. That's actually kind of quite funny and hypocritical. The supervisors were avoiding doing their job and make bad workers do their job. They avoided that by giving those bad workers easy dorms where they could sleep all night. And the people that did their job, that were reliable, they got all the work. So the bad employees got privileges, and the supervisors gave themselves easy privileges and stuff. And the people that did the work got more work, which again was, I get into why, like Colin, I called off a lot. That was the primary reason I called off a lot, because I knew I'm going to have to go in there and deal with this crap. I don't want to deal with a bunch of crazy teenagers flipping out until like 1 in the morning, while this other person has a job. All they do is sleep all night, and they get the quiet dorm to do that all night. It's like, a lot of the time I just didn't even want to go in and deal with that. So who's really, not to point fingers, but who in that way, who's really at fault? The supervisors for not doing their damn job. If you give your best worker the most work, eventually they're going to start saying, you know what, I've had enough of this. And that's what I was doing. It was like, well, stay home and have fun, or go there and be given most of the work and deal with crap all night and stress, while other people who don't do their job get privileges and sleep all night. Like, I don't want to go to that. Screw that.
And making these people stay up all night and do their job. which I actually called off a lot while working there. And that's why.
Nope. I didn't know I was going to say that. I really didn't.
want to be there because of that shit.
Really didn't know I was going to say that. And I did it again.
That's not how you're supposed to do things. I mean, if you just don't want to deal with the problems, you shouldn't be in management position. I used to dread going in there every night, wondering, where am I going to get put today? What kind of crap am I going to deal with?
That's not a job. That's basically volunteer slavery. I don't care if you get paid. It's like doing something you don't want to do is slavery. Even if you choose to force yourself, it's like, no, that's not living, man. That's not life. No matter what spin you put on it.
That was the last time I really got in trouble.
Which doesn't include having to get shit done. If you don't have to do something you don't want to, yeah, bullshit.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't do anything else after that. That was it. Yeah, that was the last time I got in trouble. I didn't do shit after that other than maybe a speeding ticket. Which I've only gotten one of those.
I jumped right back into being a teenager now from working there age.
I was thinking earlier I was playing with my kids downstairs, just wrestling with them. I basically I body slam and power slam them on the couch. Or I just toss them on it. They fucking love it. I got thinking about us as kids, me and my brother and all the friends and everybody come over.
Charlie Brown round.
Anytime we got new beds, the old ones
Brain
would go in the
Buster.
cellar.
Brain Buster.
Cellar and concrete walls. It wasn't dirt or anything. I mean, it was a finished cellar, just not carpeted or,
It had very high ceiling, thinking back, because some of the things we did, bouncing off of mattresses stacked, flipping over higher, things stacked even higher, flipping over it and not hitting the ceiling. That had to have some really high ceilings back in the day. Or, well, the house is still there, but I was never a short kid. I'd say 8 to 9 feet high ceilings for a basement. Yeah, you have a lot of fun with that.
I had those big, huge fluorescent lights on in the ceiling. The rear ones always never worked.
Woo!
But we used to always wrestle on the mattresses.
Mm-hmm. Here comes the Brain Buster.
I mean, we had everything set up down there. Me and my brother, we'd always be wrestling. And I remember one time, I don't know how the hell he didn't break my neck.
Yep.
I mean, the mattress is set up like this. And I guess they came apart slightly. My brother gave me, I thought it was a pile driver. But he actually...
It was the Brain Buster, not from the DDT style, but the one... He basically was giving me a pile driver, but instead of a pile driver, he put my head between his knees and head first drove me down. Instead of on his butt, it went knees first with my head sticking out underneath his knees, and boom, my head hit.
He gave me a Brain Buster. My head went in between the mattresses, right onto the cement floor.
Yeah.
Oh my God, did that frickin' suck.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
He thought he really injured me too. He said later on, like,
Yeah, we
you're-
do show. Fucking the Charlie Brown round. They got the name because we had like
Figurines.
Well, we had a setup where, what was it? We had a box
Yeah, I mean,
spring
111.
first. And then we had whatever the footstool's called.
Ottoman,
Where you
I
put
think.
your feet up in front of a chair. That's padded and everything. We had that at the end,
Footstool.
of
That's
the,
what my family always called it.
the box
They all,
spring.
I think the technical term is Ottoman. I think. Let me actually. You know what? I could look that up right now. Yeah, an Ottoman. My family and everybody around me always called it a footstool. That's it. Just a footstool.
And then we had just a set. No, it was stacks of cushions, of couch cushions, stacked all the way up, pretty high, like over. I don't know how much room between that and the ceiling we had. Excuse me. And then we have like a stack of like 4 mattresses on the other side of, like right on the other side of the stack of cushions. And we would have G.I. Joes, figurines, whatever, all shoved like right into the cushions. And we had a pillow on top. We'd have shit, whatever, underneath the cushions. And what was we started out with, it was like Charlie Brown figurines. That's why it was Charlie Brown round. Where that name came from? Like, who came?
I think my brother made up that name. I'll leave. My phone is literally leaning. It's sitting on my keyboard, leaning up against my screen. And it seems like it's better to have a white screen up. More lighting. It doesn't bother my eyes, but what we do in the Charlie Brown round, basically mattress here, like there was a box spring here with the Ottoman on it, and then there'd be just a stack of couch cushions in front of that, and then 2 mattresses on the other side. So we would run onto the box spring, bounce up, bounce on the Ottoman, do a flip over, or we go diving over the stacks of cushions. As we're diving, we're trying to grab all these action figures and figurines from, all like it's like literally like 6 feet of stacked cushions, couch cushions. So they're sticking out in every corner. This side, that side, the sides, one level, 2 cushions down, like all over the place. So we're trying to jump over it, grab as many as we can, jumping over the cushions, and then flipping like over it like that. And then once we get over it, whoop, flip over and land on our back on the mattress on the other side. And it was a competition of who could grab the most stuff, or in the, however we want to push, like cool. That just reminded me of another thing. We would put pillows on top, like regular couch pillows. We'd put them on top, like one, and then we put something underneath it, and like diving over, you had to grab the pillow, grab something underneath it without knocking the pillow over at all. I remember that bit. Like, that's all what we did. Like, we didn't, back in the 80s, early 90s, we had to come up with our own entertainment, and that's all we did. That was fun. That was play for us. Took our old mattresses into the basement and everything else and had fun.
And I don't know, but it was just funny. Basically, we'd go running down the hallway.
All the way from the back.
Room, run onto the box spring, jump up, land on the footstool.
Wow, I
What
didn't.
the hell that's called now?
Ottoman. I didn't know how. I didn't
And
know I
then
explained.
bounce off of that.
I don't remember explaining in detail. So the fact that I just explained it, now I'm explaining it 8 years ago, that's just cool to me because I'm not trying. I'm not trying to say what I'm about to say. I'm just like it's come. I'm going back into it now, and then since I never watched it before, I don't know what I'm going to say next. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to say this now while there's a pause because I don't remember saying it in that detail. And then I unpause and I end up saying it in that detail, and it's like, that was cool as shit. Like, I'm not trying. Like, that's just cool. Like, I'm sorry if a lot of people, that's not what people find normally cool, but for me, that's weird cool.
Dollar General over there, truck. Bounce off of it. Like here's the stack of
Did I get
cushions.
that?
Jump
Oh, I
off
did. I
and
remember
then
correctly.
flip over like that over it. And as we're going, try to grab as many toys, figurines, whatever, action figures as you can as you're flipping over, and then land on the mattresses on the other side.
I gotta pause. She came over. Nope, she went back. Pickles. I was gonna grab the turtle, but she jumped back in the water. I don't want to stick my hand all the way in that water.
You'd be flipping through the air and you'd be grabbing shit from the side and, and on top trying to grab the pillow, move the pillow up, and then grabbing whatever was underneath it and grab the most, land on the other side. That was fun. So much fun.
There's the pickles. Hi,
It was a
pickles.
good time. Charlie Brown round.
I make no copyright claims. I'm not that petty. Yeah, I make no copyright claims on that funny bit. It ain't about that for me. Hell, if I suddenly everybody was doing it, that'd be just cool. If suddenly everybody was doing that, I just find it cool, not how much money I can make off of it or from it. Like suddenly, the new thing catching kids' interest, a Charlie Brown round, which you really can. I mean, you could do all kind of stuff with that, with like trampolines and stuff like that. Like, there's so much you could do with that nowadays, man. I don't know why everybody's so hung up on technology. We got so much more even kids could do now than before, and it's like, holy crap. Oh, if I was a kid again, forget it. Shove technology up your rear, man. Like, even just like a trampoline park. Like, dude, I'm 44. I still haven't been to one of those yet. Like, there's a weight limit. You're gonna have to hold me down. Like, I'm getting in on that shit.
Yeah, we did everything in that cellar. I remember one time we had right in the back room where the lights always never came on. We had so many freaking bike parts. It was insane. I remember one day we had so many parts back there. My dad, me and my friends all there watching him and helping out as much as we could. Actually built me a bike right then and there from nothing, from just a bare frame.
That was cool. I thought that was
I didn't
cool
think it
as
had
shit.
the crank in it. Or whatever the hell that freaking.
I thought that was cool as shit. Like, legit. My dad literally just built me a bike from a bare frame and scrap, just random parts from a pile of junk we had in the back of our basement. Like, it was just a pile where you had an old rim you replaced, you just chucked it in the pile. Like, it was just a pile of stuff that was just some garbage, some not. It was just, whatever. But to go digging through that from a bare frame with no crank in it, nothing, and then just put it all together, and here's a bike. I thought that was just awesome as a kid. I thought that was really cool. And now for the intermission. We got Pickles. Hi. What's up, Pickles? Hi, Pickles. You're going to freak out in any moment. I got to get out of here because you'd like to go outside. Here, why don't you turn around and say hello? Hi, Pickles. Could you stop? Hey. Yeah, I know. You're freaking out. You just want to go. Look at her, just like, let me go. I want to run. I want to freaking. No. Okay, go back. I know. I'm sorry. You're pissed off. Yeah, now she's, let me out of here. As soon as I let her roam around in the yard free, just, without, I know they got turtle leashes, which I wanted to get one. I didn't know there were, she's slow enough. But a leash would be nice, right? I didn't have to sit there and, follow her. I could just sit there and let her roam in front of me. But since I just let her walk around the yard, that's all she wants now. She just wants out. Now, excuse me, I gotta go wash my hands after handling her. Okay. Yeah. I always wash my hands whenever I even put a finger in that cage. That, and I make sure my hands aren't any kind of contaminants on them either before I even touch her. Hour behind.
The middle thing is called where your pedals are. And I haven't actually ridden a bike since freaking childhood.
Try my hand.
Or bicycle. Now I prefer motorcycles.
Yeah.
I remember that really good. The whole freaking just bare frame, put it together, and I was riding it that day. I remember that was cool. I don't know what the hell happened to it though.
No, I don't know.
I don't remember. We wrecked all our bikes.
Ghost riding
the shit out of those.
Yeah.
That's why. We'd bend the forks.
I was already thinking that.
We babes that could take them.
I was already thinking that when I asked out loud. I don't know what happened. I'm literally thinking before I said it. That time, most likely ghost riding. You take the bike, you ride, you go in speed, and you just push it forward, and you bounce up, and you push it, and you're going, you bounce off, and you just push the bike to keep going forward. Our dumbasses found it entertaining to do that into walls, to see how high and how far the bike could bounce, or how much of a wreck it would make. You know what would happen. We'd bend the forks or the neck of the frame. That's most likely what happened to it. And I was already internalizing all of that before I even said it. Without knowing I was going to say it.
We were riding, not too fast, but then we just, jump off and push with the handlebars. Push the bike as hard as we can into a wall. And it just, boom, bounce off and boom, boom, boom. You go all over. Keep doing that, your forks will go from, being like this to being like that. So Rick
Eventually, they're
Owens-
more forward when you turn them around. Dumbasses. My kids try doing that nowadays. I'm like, don't, because I've already done it. I've already done it.
She has such a hard time with those kids. I think because all she does is yell at them. Oh. Yeah, we used to have good times on bikes. We used to always go bike riding on the weekends, just fucking, just take off and get as far as we can. I mean, we'd
Johnny
be
with
freaking,
diarrhea.
20 miles from home and shit like that.
Let me
I'm
think.
totally freaking lost. Bike riding. I remember me and my nephew, we had some money. We're over there riding over in Wilkes-Barre, a couple towns over across the...
We were usually within 10 miles, not 20. Maybe less. No, it was less. It was about 5 miles. Yeah. So 5 miles. That felt like a long, like far, but it wasn't. We were just 5 miles from home. Shawnee Ave in Plymouth to Boscobs in Wilkes-Barre. That's generally the furthest we would ride our bikes. Wasn't very much further than the square of Wilkes-Barre, like that area.
Across the river. We were trying to find... It's funny because now it's like I try to think how the hell we couldn't find it. It was so easy to navigate that area. We were trying to find Boscobs. Local department store. I don't know how big it is, like past the local area. I don't know, but it's just a department store. They got everything there. We were trying to find the on-ramp to the parking garage where bicycles. I think we were I was like 14, he was like 12. He had this shit so bad, he had diarrhea. We're looking and looking and looking, and guess what?
Too late.
He never made it. He shit his pants. I mean, he had shit all down his freaking legs, and he had diarrhea. That's fine. Me, I would have freaking probably stopped in an alleyway. But, yeah, we had money. So, we go into the bathroom. He gets out of his underwear, and I'm just like, holy shit. He's in the stall. He starts cleaning up. I'm like, alright, I went and I bought him a new pair of shorts or pants. Or
His legs were
no, they were
covered.
shorts.
His
While he was
legs
in
were
the bathroom,
covered.
I went over to the short department, bought him a change of clothes. Funniest part was, man, he made such a mess of that stall. The toilet was just covered and
He left it there.
walls, the floor. It was freaking nasty. That was funny. It sucks we gotta get old. Really sucks.
No. I don't think that anymore either. No. Because again, what is that? I'm about to say, what is that noise? I swear I paused it. Orientation to, and basically living from being. That that underlying regarding me has not changed. Only my body has changed in that way. I am still exactly who I internally was, even at that initial moment of awareness at 3 years old. So, regarding the body, yeah, it sucks we got to get old, but from being, it's constant. It doesn't age. I mean, internally analyzing, I mean, it didn't really grow. It just accumulated experience, understanding, information, etc., participation, you name it. My being is still just the same as it was at 3 years old. That's the underlying constant. It's like aligning more with that orientation. The physical limitations of time and aging on the body is just secondary. It's like, well, so what? I can't do all that I wanted, that I've done as a kid, younger. But that doesn't completely stop you from enjoying it. Even if, see, because internalizing it again is enough. It is more than enough, because you can't go back. You can't be a kid again. You can't relive it. So being able to have something to internalize over again, how could I argue over that? That's one hell of a blessing. Thank you. Thank you. Like, damn.
Yeah, shit. I hope I said this on one of the videos. I remember we're so poor growing up in that freaking house. We'd be freaking making toast. If I said this on here or to my wife the other day. We'd make a freaking toast.
Garlic salt.
Toast and put freaking garlic salt on it.
That's all we had to eat
A
sometimes.
few times that's all we had to eat.
That's still good. That still tastes better than the freaking... That is still better. As long as you evenly, perfectly put the right amount of garlic, salt, or powder on it, on the buttered toast, that is usually better than the store-bought actual garlic bread, because I don't know who else out there, every time I try to make one of those, it literally goes like stale. Like the if you don't eat it when it's like soft and fresh and warm, that bread just turns like hard as a rock, and it slowly goes from the bottom up. How many times did you have garlic bread where you literally just peeled out the white fluffy center of the bread and the crust was like cardboard? I never get that with toast. So why should I not enjoy that? But in this case, it was more of a poverty thing, whereas now it's, I'd rather have a thing of garlic powdered toast in front of me instead of a loaf of garlic bread. Yeah. Forgive me if I'm not all loud here, not there, because these, my own volume is muffled and lower, so I'm probably speaking louder than I normally do.
Yeah, my hair grew long again.
Longest I took that, I just cut it up
like
here.
It down, I just pull it back in a freaking ponytail.
Right, a few inches below my collarbone, right here. So I think the lowest.
I had my hair long.
Right down here. after
Things
this.
are down to my mouth now.
I just shaved my head
Last
from
time,
that
shit,
length.
they came all the way down to my Adam's apple.
Last year.
My freaking back hair. I always get a high and tight, which is a military cut. I was never in the military. I just like the haircut.
Let it grow or
I usually
leave
get
it
cut
spike.
short. Let the top grow out longer, and I'll just spike it. Oh, I get sick of that.
Nice hole in your armpit. You know what's funny? This hairstyle is suddenly in style, as in everybody's copying that nonsense. I've had that same hairstyle since my late teens, since the late 90s. I mean, before the late 90s, mid early 90s, I always got a mushroom cut, but I always wanted to do that. Just let it grow long on top and then just pull it back in a ponytail. I wanted to do that since the early 90s, but as a kid, I never had the patience. And then from my late teens all the way till now, it's always either been a high and tight spiked or high and tight long. Like that hairstyle, but just only the top let grow long, basically where everybody goes bald. I don't ever have to worry about that. That's the only hairstyle I've ever had. I only ever started shaving my head instead of spiking it. I don't know, maybe this past 5-10 years.
I'll just keep letting the top grow, and I'll just keep shaving underneath here. I'll just keep letting it grow until I get sick of it. And then I'll
shave it.
cut
Shave it and
again
then,
and start all over.
yep.
And
get sick of long.
I went and actually just fully shaved my head. Where'd your hair go? You look good with the hair. Grow it back, grow it back. Every time you grow it back. My wife said to, and I'm like, you know what, fine. I'll grow it back until I get sick of it again.
That's funny. Shave it, everybody tells you to grow it back. But while I had it, nobody ever complimented me on it. Kind of an oxymoron there, huh?
Yeah. Just thinking back. All the time playing up the back and shit like that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that was good. See, this is why I love this. It's just shit I normally don't ever think about except once in a blue moon or even less than that.
So, what came to be?
Just coming into my head so much more now. So just perfectly.
Except I wasn't thinking. I hate doing that. I fucking hate doing that stupid quote through my face. Thinking. That's a proper quote. Thinking. That's my proper quote. No, I didn't know at the time. Again, I thought everybody was internally as aware and operating in that orientation as I was, in their own way. So what I'm saying is thinking is actually deep contemplation. I didn't know it was deep because I thought everybody was doing it internally because you can't see it, you can't hear it, you can only observe the expression embodiment from others. I mean, how do you ask other people about what they're doing internally? How do you ask? Like, I never heard any inquiries, any documentaries or any TV show, anything before the internet on any deep references, like the layer of being versus the layer of self. The self is basically your physicality within this reality. Your being is the intangible you, the thing you cannot pull out and show you. What is the one thing, the origination of your being or yourself, that the research, the intangible you, that I'm still yet to hear that they have any concrete evidence on its origination. It's just all I hear is endless theories and research, and that we still don't know. It still remains the intangible you. That all you could do is observe the expressions and embodiment from it, but you can't observe it directly other than your own. Yes, I can observe myself. Myself or my being. I am observing that all the time as much as I observe everything else now. Prior to a year and a half ago, it was more operating and doing than observing, though.
Clear. I remember we were Dave's house up the back. I lived next to the baseball field. He had a horseshoe pit. That's what we call it, the horseshoe pit.
Oh, I had that.
We just
Yeah, I got it. I don't know for sure, but I as soon as I say her horseshoe pit, and going based on my own reaction there 8 years ago, I know exactly what I'm about to say, and I just I just relived it. Mikey and Dave always got mistaken for brothers because they both had black hair, or dark brown black hair. Similar build, similar height. I forget their eye color. I think that was similar. And they were both wearing similar colored clothing that day. We were playing baseball in the horseshoe pits with a real baseball. Dave hit it. I forget what happened. He was running around the bases, and I accidentally mistaken him for Mikey, and I threw him the ball to get him out, not knowing I was throwing it at Dave. I remember it was like slow motion witnessing that, observing it. It was just, you see the ball coming, going, and he's not moving, and it's like, in that like milliseconds, internally, the realization of what's about to happen. That's not Mikey. Boom! The ball just hits him in the head and bounces. And he literally went from running to just boom! He just dropped. Oh, just my point of view, the slow motion of it and everything that happened, it was just, oh, so funny. I hope that's what I'm about to say. Oh, man.
a little bit back in his yard, behind his house. I mean, it was.
It's still there, but the house is gone.
What, about like 30 yards long by like maybe 15 or 20 yards wide.
It now has a road going right through it, though, for the parking lot.
That's where they played horseshoes. That's why they call it the horseshoe pits. Even though I'm freaking my day, they never really played horseshoes there. I don't think I ever seen them play horseshoes there once.
I have.
But we always played baseball or whatever there. One time it was me, Dave, and Mike who were playing baseball.
Yep.
And
pick odds.
Shit, who? Okay, yeah, I was laughing 'cause I thought it was Mike. I was pitching. Mike was catching. Dave was hitting. And Dave hit the ball. He was running around the bases. Dave and Mike look like brothers. And they were
So
both
that-
wearing the same color clothes. I think it was like a white t-shirt and blue shorts.
I don't
Blue
remember.
jean shorts. I don't know how, somehow I got them mixed up. Or maybe Mikey was pitching and I was back, and then Dave was, throwing the ball back if he didn't hit it. I forget how we were set up. But I got the ball. I got the baseball. And then I was throwing it, I thought, to Mikey to get him out. Somehow I mixed them up. I didn't fully look at where I was throwing.
Oh, I whipped it.
Stop and look. I just chucked it at what I thought was Mike. And it was actually Dave, and he was running away from me, so I basically chucked it right at his back. It came, and it struck him right here. Boom! It just bounced off his head. He went from running to just dropping dead. Just boom! He fell flat, just whack, just out. Like, knocked out, but he wasn't, he felt like he got knocked out. Man, he started freaking crying, man. That was funny as hell. Just the sight, just chucking the ball and just see it in, like, slow motion.
Oh, yeah, sit there.
Like that oh shit moment. Like, oh shit. It's just like,
Yeah.
boom! You just seen it just bounce like as if it hit a rubber head. And he just dropped, just went from running, just
A rubber head.
hilarious.
That's a good one.
Times when they were acting like assholes.
Oh, that's a good one. That really is closer to the explanation. I was thinking of like throwing a baseball at like just a cement ground or a wall and just seeing it bounce. But honestly, a rubber surface, yeah, like it wouldn't like how it bounced. Not if you hit something rubber, it would like it'd be a pushback. It would like say if you had like a rubber wall and you threw a ball at the wall would move, like, or at least the area of the ball would move it inward and then it would bounce back out, except that obviously the human head ain't going to do that, so it just went like boink, just like bounced off a solid rubber wall. That's good. That's funny. A rubber head. It bounced off his rubber head. It's too bad I don't associate with him anymore. That's too bad, because that's, oh man, that'd be a good bust his ass joke. Just, hey man, remember that baseball bounced off your rubber head? He's not a bad guy, but it's just, he showed me that I'm not of any importance to him. And those kind of people that show me that, I don't associate with. Like, I couldn't get him to spare even a half an hour to help me with, I couldn't get him to help me out with anything for even a half an hour, just to generalize real quick. And at that point, it just basically showed me like, he's up there helping friends out the wazoo, going out of his way to help these people, and I can't get, and he just met them like 6 months ago through me too, like motorcycle community. It was like he always just rode with me and his nephew, and I had to convince him to start riding with the local group, that the local community had just gathered together. And once he did that, I became nobody to him. And then asking him for help with something, soldering in LEDs for my bike, he couldn't even spare half an hour. And for me, that's basically like, okay, man, you showed me my value to you, and it's not good. So, arrivederci, have a nice life. I'm not valued. I don't want you a part of my life. I've done that with siblings, family members, relatives, friends, acquaintances, anybody and everybody. The only exception in the whole freaking world are my kids. They're the only exception. Everybody else, they are their own person. If you're not going to be congruent in my life, you're going to be more disruptive, go. Just, I'm already less or nothing to you. So how about you just stick with that and move along? That's how I view it. From everybody to my relatives, friends, even to my own wife. If I'm not valued to you, I don't want you around me in my life, because nothing good comes from that. Don't associate with people you don't appreciate, because that's just pathetic negativity. And don't allow those who view you lesser or in a negative way to be a part of your life, because they are only disrupting it, and that's all. For me.
The football field, or the baseball field, we'd always be playing football there.
Community Park,
We'd
Row
always
Lane,
play
Plymouth.
actual football, though.
Row Lane, Plymouth, Pennsylvania.
No pads
Community Field.
and tackling.
Community Park.
That was good times. A lot of times we'd actually play with the freaking.
Excuse me.
Yeah, the older teenagers.
Wow. 2 hours, 12 minutes. But that timer above my head, I don't know if you could see it right there. It's on my screen. 2 hours, 12 minutes, but that still runs when I pause this and go to the bathroom or something like that. I'm looking at my previous two videos. 3 hours and 52 minutes for the first one of these. 3 hours and 30 minutes for the second one. And now I'm at 2 hours and 12 minutes, only three-quarters of the way done with this one. And most people need a script. I'm just getting started. I've been quiet for 4 decades, man. Internalizing. I'm just getting started. Now, I'm actually going to pause this and go upstairs for a moment, check on the kids. Just tell them I'm almost done. Maintain the quiet. Everything's good. All right, hunky-dory. Okay. You know, it's funny. Somebody actually just openly just showing and speaking from here. I don't mean your heart. I mean like literally your authentic being. Like just speaking from here, no agenda, just speaking, just expressing. Doing that openly on camera, even. Like people boast about the smallest things done on camera, like even performing, like the amount it takes to do that is such a big feat, which it might be. I don't know. I mean, it's like riding a bike to me now, even though it was, back then even after the first episode. But it's like after 8 years, and I'm not going, the stupid view count. I'm just saying, for what I'm doing, and it's like, such less is boasted about. Again, boasting even about performing in front of a camera. More, that's not even including literally completely being and expressing yourself on camera, not caring, not being limited by anything external, like, oh, the thoughts of others, how people look at me, how am I going to be seen or heard, and all that crap. That's why I say I'm expressing myself. I am that I am, and whatever's coming out is whatever the heck it is. Nobody else dictates me or however it comes out. Like, why do I care if somebody thinks negatively of me or anything if I'm just being authentic? There's no directive or direction or intent to bother anybody other than to express myself. And then in 8 years, that thing's got the most 62 views. It's like, it's a little puzzling. Like, I don't know. It's like, am I so hard to follow or something? That's why I've never gotten any constructive feedback on any of these, on anything actually. And then suddenly AI software shows up and it's like, idea, take the transcript and the video, upload it to AI software to have it analyzed. But then it's like, well, I still don't have any constructive feedback from anybody in how they understand it. Because again, I don't give a flying screw job what any AI says. That doesn't, any AI can only speak for itself and however it's designed, etc., etc. It could say what it wants about the majority of people, but it can't speak for them. That's why I say I still don't have any actual constructive feedback other than AI analysis, which is not you out there. Anyone out there that is not you, which is what I mean. I have, but it's just like, anybody out there understand what the hell I'm even saying? Like,
back then they looked like adults.
It's like the number count doesn't matter. The interaction does. Like if I say something that really helps somebody or like really like makes them think or contemplate and or just I don't know how to put it. I would rather interact with the people than care about or engage, interact, etc. be in congruence with others, then give a flying fuck about view count. Other than the reality of it, like 8 years, 62 views, that shows that nobody really watched it. So there really is no constructive feedback to receive. And it's like, well, that sucks. That's all I'm saying. Like, that sucks. That's it.
Full contact still.
Let's get this over because I'm
with them. They had enough people they could actually.
Let me just get this over with now. The video already. I am very fluid today. I'm not weighed down by anything. I feel good, at ease, lightweight, I feel like bouncing around. I'm in a good, pleasant mood. My state of being is very pleasant. Not to sound lame, cliche, or because it always sounds weird to say it, but to be in that state and nothing else, it is indescribable in words. Have a nice day.
Properly, no, just the quarterback standing there with the football while everybody runs out to either catch.
That was a good time, man. Old school football, no pads.
Just exactly like regular football. That was fun.
What is that called? I forget what that's called. Just, regular people getting together with no pads and just literally full contact, playing regular football on a field, but enough people to play it regularly, without, basically when there's less people, the quarterback is basically just standing there and you're not allowed to touch him. When you got enough people, even without pads, the quarterback was optional to go get him. Like, those were fun days, especially because the guys were like 5 to 10 years older than us, and we're playing with them. Like, here's being a bunch of kids like 5 foot nothings, and here's these guys like upper 5 foot, weighing 100 pounds more than us, over 6 or around 6 foot or more too, and just people from average like 175 to like 250 pounds, and here's a bunch of little kids playing full contact freaking football with them. Man, those guys were awesome. Awesome. Always had a blast.
We used to play soccer there too. That's actually where the locals would play. Local teams would play soccer.
They still do.
Soccer teams.
At least practice. I miss that. Waking up in the morning and hearing all that up the back. Church bells, playing hymns.
I remember one time, fucking.
Or the school band playing down in the Valley West practice field, or athletic field.
Asshole Phil.
Ah.
We were playing freaking football.
Another childhood bully.
And in the field.
Another childhood bully. It's funny. Another one, just like Chris. And I said in the first video or the second, I remember hanging out with him early on in childhood. I remember going to his house up the street on Shawnee Ave from me and playing Castlevania on NES. I remember getting along with him just fine. But then once again, the bullying and stuff like that, name calling from my family members to my friends and then to school, suddenly he ends up just being just like everybody else. I'm an easy target, and that's all there is to it. Because all I wanted to do, even as a child, was just to enjoy and just have fun. It's like bullying, putting people down, feeling better than anybody, delusionalizing that even as an ignorant kid. That never occurred to me. Like, yeah, I was, stupid stuff about like who's faster in a race or stuff like that, but I never made that into anything. Like, that was just kid shit. Like, ooh, I lost a race, like, or won a race. It was never a big deal to me, but I don't know. It's just, that normal stuff was fine, but like, like picking on like the quiet freaking poor kid in elementary school even, who literally just sits there quietly and doesn't really interact with me. Like, I was shy and, like I said, internalized more than I ever spoke. Why would you bother somebody like that? Like, even a kid just sitting there, not bothering anybody, not projecting anything on anybody. Doesn't matter if I was dirty or what I was wearing. I wasn't doing anything about it. I was just being a kid. And to be bullied for any nonsense thing, none of it was justified because I wasn't doing anything. It never makes sense to me. It's like how ignorant people are. It's just like, I don't know.
I remember I went
Moving
deep,
on.
and I jumped up to catch the ball, and I'm not sure. I don't think I caught it. I remember
Playing football in that soccer field.
my feet got tangled in the air. I
This kind of
landed
shit.
wrong, So I didn't land on my feet. I literally landed and just went right down. Just fell right down to the ground. I remember them freaking just making fun of the shit out of me. Say, "Oh, how do you trip in midair?"
That was it. I remember it clear as day, like it was yesterday. Yeah, they literally, if I had, he's so pathetic. He's even tripping in midair. You can't literally trip in midair. So even then, I was smarter, even smarter than my bullies, even more aware and observational than my bullies. I didn't trip in midair. I jumped for the ball. My legs got tangled in themselves in the air instead of being apart and ready to land my body onto the ground. Instead, my legs were like, they ended up like literally like that, and I landed and went boom. I knew that. Try telling them that. So I'm getting made fun of and bullied for their own stupidity. Like I said, that's the kind of life I've lived. It's like nonsense. That's stupid. Even as a kid, like, I remember clear as day. Clear as day. And it's just, and like I said, it wasn't the bullying, it was the attack, the negativity, how the state it would put me in. It just, that's why I was always,
right?
that's why I was quiet all the time, because it was like, you know what? Why bother? Because everything I do, I get made fun of. Everything I say, I get made fun of. I became the quiet person, even being shy too.
I remember them freaking just making fun of the shit out of me. Say, "Oh, how do you
Shut up.
trip in midair?" Only I could do that, right? It's like I understood what happened because it happened to me, not them. And they wouldn't freaking let it go. Get busting my freaking ass and making fun of me about that too. That shit was normal for me. Like that kind of shit happened every day. That's why I fucking hate them.
Yep. I don't hate that. Oh, I did then. It is what it is. It doesn't exist anymore. It's only information.
Come down, both feet come down properly. You're gonna go down. That's exactly what happened. I jumped up, and I just didn't land right. I knew it then, but they just wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. I remember getting in a fight with him once. Actual fight. I would have beat his freaking ass, Phil.
Horseshoe pits again.
I would have beat his ass.
I lost it. That. Chill out. Yeah, I lost it on him so much that I stopped breathing. Like literally, I had him pinned and I was just wailing on him. And I was just so worked up and I just lost it. I didn't notice I wasn't breathing. I was just a full-on riot mode, like a rabid dog. But for some reason, I was so worked up, I was holding my breath. Like I was that worked up where I wasn't breathing, like not that my body shut down, but my mind was overridden and that I stopped subconsciously breathing physically. I literally let him up, ran away, and caught my breath because I was like, as if I got the wind knocked out of me, but I was the one on top of him. And then he won by basically putting me in a headlock like this and just pop me right in the nose. That was it. That was it. I got a big nose, man. I'm Polish. Look at that. I've been made fun of for that too. I've been made fun of for this big freaking bottom lip as well. I think it's that one. One of those ears is more pointed. Oh, we got to make fun of him for that. That was my entire childhood until my mid-teens. Those were my so-called best friends. That would literally be the first ones they were the ones to observe any abnormalities of me and then make fun of me with them and then take those and spread them everywhere to other friends we played with, to school. Those were my friends. That was the environment I grew up around. That was the majority of my entire environment all the time. That was the majority. Not all of it, but that was the majority.
Our first fight, and I got him down where he was like this, and from like his back was his head was facing me. His head was down, his back was facing me.
Head down, back up.
I don't know what the hell happened. I just couldn't breathe. I just couldn't catch my breath. I couldn't breathe. I guess I just got so worked up. I actually had to let him go. I actually ran down because it was actually in the horseshoe pits. I actually had to run away from him because I literally couldn't freaking breathe. And then we started fighting again. I think he got me in a headlock and like this, and he actually punched me square in the freaking nose. Really good, and that was it. that was it. You hit me in the freaking nose like that, and I was like, nope, that's over. It's over. He used to do that shit all the time. He lived down the street from Mikey.
This
and
is
we'd
more
always
shit.
be down there
More
playing
bullshit.
hide and seek. Him and his brother, shit like that.
Punch him in the head so it
And we'd
snows.
always hang out down that way and shit like that. And they'd always physically freaking pick on me. Became a habit. And one time,
Easy target.
he was being a freaking bully, and he actually punched me in the head. I think he pushed me down, he punched me in the head or something like that. But when you did that, it started snowing.
Well, I laid there on the ground. They started
I
snowing.
think that happened twice, actually. So they made a joke about that, and they kept fucking doing it a few times after that, too. Hey, punch Joe in the head, and it'll snow.
It'll snow. That's my childhood.
I should speak.
That's my childhood. It's like, so like I said, I'm good with normalcy. What's that? I keep looking at myself. It looks like this eye is like slightly that way. This one's straight. Optical illusion. Yeah, when I back up more, it looks like this eye goes to the left a little bit, but it's not. But yeah, everything I expressed on what my family has, like, just as an example, people themselves, what the people around me have done to me, that was either normal for a kid or something that I wasn't doing to justify receiving that. And that was my normal environment. Like, that's pathetic. Not of me, man. Like, thank you. Thank you for the lessons, dude. Everybody from my past, like, thank you for the lessons. And I am honestly grateful because, again, flip the coin. If somebody shows you the worst of something, how do you know it's the worst if you don't already know its opposite, and even if you're not aware of it? If something is so bad, they show you it, just invert it. Flip the coin. No matter what it is, just reverse it. Imagine a lifetime of things being primarily negative. Wing! Wing! I love motorcycles. Wing! Dirt bike outside somewhere. Wing, wing, wing. I love that sound. It's entertaining. That high pitch dirt bike sound. Now to get back where the hell I was. Yeah, it's just toxic environment. People around me. Quit distracting me with your nice freaking sounding bike. I don't have any anymore. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. Just jumping off track. Let's see. I think every motorcycle but one I had to sell. Every motorcycle I've owned except one I sold to fund family financial issues. And now I don't have a bike. Hopefully for now. But yeah, you know what? Half hour, let's just get this over. Let's just get this done before I get interrupted and I can't finish it.
Down there, I remember I was racing.
98 degrees out.
Mikey and Johnny. I was racing down the hill.
I just have a fan.
And
well, this is good.
I was running full freaking speed. I turned around like this.
I don't know if you can see, it's like right here. That's Scar.
And I said, haha, I'm beating you. And I turned just about that. And I ran into a one-way street signs pole. It's the pole where it's not round. I mean, it's... the edges are just like, you know, what, 2 centimeters thick. It's just a bar and then it just like goes like that. It's basically U-shaped with things on the side of it like that, but it was facing me. I don't know how to explain it. I ran right in the side, like here's a sign, kind of like that. I freaking ran full speed. It hit me right here. I actually got a scar right near my piercing right here. Oh my God, all you heard, I'm beating you.
Boom.
Bong. That's all you heard. That's all I heard in my head was that.
I had my bell rung.
Oh man, that freaking hurt.
Drip blood.
Freaking blood just gushing down my face, dripping all over the freaking ground. I go home, you're gonna need stitches. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not getting no damn stitches. I put a band-aid on it and it was fine. Just left me with a scar.
And that actually happened days or the day before, I think, 5th grade school pictures. Because my dad has my 5th grade school picture. I'm wearing a black and red sweater. Nice one, not ugly sweater shit. Like literally the fabric is like wove into each other, the black and the red. So it's cool. It's not nice. It's a nice shirt. But In the photo, you can see I got a black eye right here, and it's all puffed up.
The other scar I got on my head, I got one right in my nose, right here. I remember my old room, house I grew up in. My brother had a street sign,
Yep, right here.
and it was an older house.
I actually just told my kids this story the other day. I showed them the scar because there was a street sign in the store and you could see it up close at how big those really are. They're not small. Street signs look small up on the pole, but when you're holding it, man, that sucker's like, I mean, that's what, like 2 to 3 feet long, and it's not light either. Yeah. A scar right here in the middle, right in the top of my big old nose. Came down from the windowsill. Boom! It literally just fell probably about 3 feet, and then just boom, landed right on my nose. The flat section of the sign, like it literally went boom. That hurt. Ooh, that hurt.
Wooden door is shorter. Wooden window frame. And above it was like, that much room. Just literally like 3 inches shorter than the street sign. So I put it up there and I actually jammed
Shorter.
it diagonally like that into the corner. Like, the corner like that, and I actually put the sign, like, this is the top of the window. I actually
jammed it like this.
jammed it in like that.
There's the sign. I jumped like
And
that.
then
Yeah. Whoop.
I think
like
I
that.
opened the window.
Yeah. Boom.
And
Boom.
I think the sign came down like that, or just fell down like that, but it actually came down and freaking just boom, it hit me right in the freaking nose. It cut me just straight across my nose. I got a scar in there from that. But as much crazy shit as it is as a kid, I never broke a bone.
Nope, still didn't.
That I know of.
Maybe my pinky toe. It sure as hell hurt like it did.
Yeah, we did normal shit as kids. We go out shoveling and snowed. Blizzard of '93 was the best. Likey Street.
Snow dunes about 3 to 4 feet high.
Car tube.
Truck tube. It was a truck tube, actually.
Inner tube for a car.
Or car. I think it was for a small truck,
And,
though.
we blew that thing up as big as we can, and they didn't plow at all. I think everything was still, I'm not sure. I think everything was still shut down. But I mean, they plowed enough in the beginning where there was piles on each side of the street, but the street was still covered. We went down that so much in our sleds and that inner tube, it was literally practically a half pipe. The sides just went up, they were nice and smooth, and we get like 4 of us or 4 or 5 of us jumping on that freaking inner tube and just fucking hauling ass down that hill. That was fun. It was a big hill too.
Yeah, that's Downing Street in Plymouth, Pennsylvania. Now, I'm just openly speaking here. I don't have to, but it's worth it. Now, I'm grateful for this. Just sitting here, just what came from this video. Again, this is the first time I'm watching it. I chose these videos because my life is very disruptive right now. It's not weighing, it has its influence right now because it's present right now. I don't carry the past anymore. So I figure, you know what, that is more aligned with the state and what I'm expressing in these videos. And that's why I chose this one today. But this has had the opposite effect on me today. These aren't all doom and gloom. There's been, like, this is more of been a positive view, like, again, like the baseball bit and the rubber head. And this has had the opposite effect on me, and I'm grateful for it. It has me reminiscent in a positive, peaceful state, bouncy, just enjoying myself. I'm in a very positive state of being and peaceful right now. I was that earlier, but this enhanced it even more, so I'm grateful for it. I just want to say that in case I say anything negative in the last 20 minutes of this. Or, you know, the theme, the feeling of the video or something, whatever you want to call it, changes. So I just want to say that now.
Just trying to think of what else. Yeah, we're always up the back. We're always having a good time playing up there with everybody. Until
Postal
some
socks.
junkies started hanging around.
Again, negative state of being is primary there. Forgive me for any negativity towards negativity, even in how I express it. Again, what I said right there, that wasn't right to put that way. And not in the means of, you know, being socially proper or anything like that. That's just a negative way of putting it, and there's no real need to put it that way, regardless of how anybody hears it, feels, or anything of the sort. It's just useless, negative and fruitless to put it that way. So don't mind anything negative he is saying, me there 8 years ago, in any way I say it.
I forget when they started hanging around there. One of them hooked up with one of the girls that lived there. I'm not going to use specific names. It's freaking douchebags. I will
Art and
touch on them though.
Art and Jenny.
For good reason.
I don't know if I'm going to get into him. Arthur. He was one heck of a douchebag to me, man. I'd be sitting there on the porch. We'd be hanging out on their porch. Just all of us just bullshitting like I'm doing here for the camera. Just sitting there yakking away, just whatever. Whatever and whenever, however. I'd just be sitting there on the stairs, just minding my own business, just silently observing. Because again, I was the quiet one. I opened my mouth, and it just brought on more bullying, more condemnation and nonsense. I'd be sitting there not bothering anything or anyone, and he would just start attacking me verbally, just like, what are you doing here? Nobody wants you here. Nobody likes you. Stuff like that. Like, just out of nowhere, he'd just suddenly start going at me. It's like, yeah, I can understand somewhat back then I had a crush on your girlfriend. Because honestly, she was one of the nicer people in my childhood. And hanging out with her, just me and her, or whatever, goofing around, she was an enjoyable person to be with, even as friends. So yeah, obviously I grew feelings for that person. So I could understand in that aspect, but it was just more of the same, but a little bit more of it. I don't know if I explained any of that.
That's really where the good times up there stopped. When they started coming around there all the time and eventually living there. One douchebag specifically. Yeah, he pretty much, yeah, he moved in there, I forget when. That's when all the the good childhood fun stopped. You know?
Yep.
Cause they were always into freaking drugs and drinking and everything.
Bad.
That's all it was up there anymore.
The reason I said that word, that J word, I'm not going to say, I'm not going to stoop that low. Even if I said it myself then, I don't need to jump back into being a piece of shit and say that kind of thing. The drug addicts back then, the reason I refer to them in such a negative way, those people specifically that I myself observed, not dictating anything else, nothing else, just what I observed. They were bad people, and they influenced the ones around them to basically join them in their their activities. I don't want to keep saying that and get flagged. They kept spreading their stink, getting other people to join them in activities that would harm their body, which did eventually. A lot of bad things. They kept doing it. They got into the worst of the worst, and they paid the prices. Not the ultimate price, but their life got as you would expect it to be. It seems like they both came out. They went their separate ways, and one married a preacher and had a family, literally, Jen, and then Art moved out of state. I randomly look people up now and then that I used to know, just to be a little nosy, curious, or whatever. Last two things I ever looked up or seen of him, he was incarcerated in Florida, and then he was living in Texas. And that's it. Just from, randomly look, you sit down and you start randomly looking up people you once knew. Anybody and everybody. I do that like every few months just for the hell of it. Just curiosity.
Drinking and drugs. I mean, it started out normal. Just drinking and smoking weed. But then it slowly got worse. Acid and shit like that. Tell you one thing, he did not like me at all because I had a crush on his freaking girlfriend.
Probably not the yeah, I don't know.
Actually, I think that's why he didn't like me. I don't know.
One of the main reasons, I know that.
Other
than that, I was
easy around, hanging around, but I never bothered with him.
Nope.
He's just a piece of shit.
I was an easy target, that's all. Not now. Not.
I remember we'd be sitting on the front porch, even with the mother there.
Oh, yeah. Yep, that makes it even
And
worse. I
wouldn't
forgot about
say a word
that.
to him. I'd just be sitting on the steps or something like that. You do this all the time. You just start fucking calling me names. Call me fucking scumbag and shit like that. You know, I think a few times he's like, oh, well, why do you come around here and shit like that? Like, I was going around, I was hanging out with them since I was like 4 years old. And he came around, what, fucking over 10 years later, or like, yeah, like 10 years later, or 10 years later, or some shit like that.
6 to 8 years later.
He was always fucking being an asshole to me.
For no reason. Because, like, I didn't associate with him.
But why
I
not
knew
talk
one
about
reason.
him?
Well, I didn't know at the time.
Because him coming around, them, you know, just drinking, smoking weed, doing acid, yes, they kept jumping up, going up the ladder. The junkie
Worse
ladder.
things and worse things. Yeah, I said it again.
I'm only talking about them. I don't give a shit what anybody else does. Doesn't affect me. I don't fucking care. The reason I'm
just being overly negative towards people I had direct experience with in an extremely negative way. I am just using the worst word possible because, again, at the time, what positive, what even neutral way could I say towards something that is that negative, other than be as negative in its own reference, in what I say referencing it? That was a mistake to do. I'm basically continuing the same worthless negative cycle. Being negative towards negativity only produces more negativity. Unless you pay attention and you learn from that and stop doing it like I did.
whatever words I want talking about them, because I am just, I am talking shit on them for doing it because they
Not really.
corrupted other people.
Yep.
Friends of mine, people I knew, people I grew up with, shit like that. And corrupted the one sister that lived there. Actually, I ended up corrupting a lot of them.
Yep.
But they would.
I'm just real quick. I don't know. I don't think it happened yet, or I don't think I knew it yet when I recorded this. One of the childhood friends that started associating with them and got into doing those things. Again, I don't want to get flagged or not. Who got into the worst of the worst? Eventually, X'd out a 92-year-old lady. I think it was on like Thanksgiving, because he was illegally in her house trying to basically get something for substances. So why do I portray them in such a negative way? Because if it wasn't for them, that would have never happened, because they influenced, well, he really wasn't a childhood friend, that was just another prick bully. But that doesn't, just because he was a bully me doesn't mean there's no compassion or empathy there, because I can clearly observe he got into, observed that he started associating more with them and not his childhood friends. And then he started doing what they were doing, and he kept doing it for the rest of his life. Until he did the ultimate wrong and went to jail for it for the rest of his life. All tied back to their influence on him. I don't care what he did to me, ever. That's wrong. That's pathetic. Like, That's the kind of people they were. They really, there really is.
Well, they start out with small shit. Before you know it, I remember one time, I remember just out of nowhere, I didn't know how it started. Freaking vape is getting in the way or viewable on cameras. But, I remember I think it was me, James, and her were hanging out in her room. And what she said it was, snorting coke. I think I was 14. I think she's only 3 years older than me, and I was like 13, 14 at the time. I think I was 14. Hard to remember because it was in the summertime.
Yeah, she's 15 or 16.
I'd know better if it was like, a school year, what grade I was in. But summertime, it all just mashes together. But it's like snorting freaking coke and then crushing up pills and snorting those.
I never joined that shit.
Excuse me. And the same thing with another friend, a douchebag friend. He'd act the same way to me as everybody else. I was the outcast. I was the freaking
That's Tony. That's the one
piece of shit of the
that
group. But
ended up in jail, maybe.
he was
He
normal.
was more.
Him and his sister were normal.
Yeah,
growing up.
Tony. Yeah, we used to
I
get
forget
along
when they
fine
moved
with
to
them.
town or when we started hanging out with them. But long before.
Another one. When they first moved in, there was no fighting, no bullying. It was just regular kids playing until my reputation became known, or I was observed to be an easy target, a shy one, the quiet one, the one easy to bully. And then he simply joined everybody else in that nonsense. And all I wanted to do was basically live authentically as a kid. That's all I wanted. Even then I was living from being. All I wanted to do was just be with my friends, not get bullied, not get into fights, not be negative, just interact, have fun, enjoy. Isn't that the point? Like, who the fuck, even as a kid, and I'm referencing myself, like, who goes out of their way to bully another person? That many people just because they're an easy target. Like, what is the point of that? Again, I've never been self-oriented primarily, so stroking or feeding my ego and all that crap to put others down just to feel better, that doesn't process. I've never looked at people that way. Ever, my whole life. I've noticed what people are better at than others, but nobody is better than anybody except the choices they knowingly make. But to purposely be like that to somebody, I didn't have that. I was beyond that understanding, that ignorance, even as a child. Like, it was just nonsense.
Before those douchebag freaking junkies showed up.
I'm just waiting for the interruption.
Basically
We're almost
corrupted them
done.
too. Then they started hanging out with them. They started doing drugs. And they started getting into worse shit.
Worse shit.
That's why
Not
I
worse,
don't
no.
like that's what I don't like about junkies. I mean, you do drugs, you do shit to yourself, and you don't do it, get anybody else in with it. Hey, that's your life. You do what you want. If you pull other people, innocent people, into your little chunky world, that's No. That
I
ain't cool.
apologize.
Not at all. Especially when
Again, I'm not apologizing for offending. I'm apologizing for using too negative of language. There's no use to talk like that. It doesn't do anything. That's all I'm apologizing for. I don't care who I offend. I'm not trying to offend anybody, even then. So, whatever, I'm expressing whatever from me. So anybody that's offended is their own offense to, their own offense that is created, because no offense is being intended. Therefore, how it's received is on you.
you grow up with people and you see it happen.
Plus, it's a very
But
touchy subject, because like
yeah,
witnessing
at least those
that,
3 people. At least
No.
those 3. Freaking. I'm not sure if no, they didn't even drink until they started coming around. Then they started drinking, smoking weed, doing acid, mushrooms, you name it. And then slowly into cocaine, and then the end game. Long after I stopped ever hanging out with them and everything else, I was in St. Mike's, stuff like that. When they moved away from that house, you get into heroin. Then I hear about freaking overdose. Yeah. Actually, no, they were freaking overdose. They were doing that hard shit long before they. I don't know if the people I grew up with were doing it, but I know the junkies were doing the hard shit. I was 14 or 15. Because I remember hearing about their one friend overdosing and shit and bleeding out his eyes or something like that, I heard. It's like, really? They weren't even... I don't even think they were 18 yet. But, yeah, those 3, those 3 people ended up getting into the hardest drugs you can. All because of them.
Art, Fran, and Nick. That was the trio of friends. Three boys. Not even 18 yet, or just turned it. Well, yeah, early on, weren't even 18 yet. Doing slowly getting into hard stuff. And they basically pulled anybody they could around them into their circle of nonsense, self-destruction. That's why in there I'm being more negative towards them, because I can clearly see what happened, because I lived around it. They were literally 50 yards behind my house living. I observed it all throughout all my childhood. I wasn't ignorant of it or anything. I seen what it done to everybody. I don't blame the substance. I blame the people. That's why I'm overly negative, too negative in that speaking.
They came around with their freaking crap. They got them into it. And that was that.
And their life turned to crap. Everybody I know that started associating with them and stayed basically stopped hanging out with us in our own little circle and started hanging out with them. They kept doing stuff until they got to the worst, and then the worst started happening. Again, X'd out, OD, getting in trouble with the law, getting locked up, everything. It's like all of that happening to all these people because of three individuals that just started coming around and just made themselves at home and basically spread their stink. Ain't no positive way to put that. None.
Yeah, he's long gone from this area, the douchebag. Frickin', she cleaned her act up. His family now and everything is good. But the brother and sister I grew up with as well.
The reason I keep explaining and apologizing for what I'm saying there, because it's bothering me. I don't like nobody really has ever told me previously how truly negative I was, but nobody ever understood me. I was being overly negative towards negative things, never towards good. I was never being negative towards anything positive or good or anybody. And to hear me talking like that, overly negative, it bothers me to hear it for the first time from the video, as if it's not me and being me. Yeah.
Last time I heard of them, they actually tried to rob the house of a judge.
They got caught.
A freaking judge. Out of all the people, all the houses, a judge's house. Why? Heroin. Support their heroin addiction. This was somewhere between 5 and 10 years ago.
And the worst is yet to come.
It's like
what I just said.
Still doing it.
The old lady.
Back then. And all that.
20 years later.
There's a one freaking douchebag
coming
around and bringing his
primary
buddies around and getting them into it. If they never came around, they never freaking spread their freaking crap. They would have just kept it to themselves. Who knows what would happen to those guys? I mean, they would never gotten into drugs and shit like that. It's Wyatt. So I'm not fond of those kind of people.
That's annoying.
You know, you want to do something to yourself, go ahead. It's your life.
99 degrees out.
Ever get people to join you and freaking mess them up.
Yep. Keep your stink to yourself. Negativity.
Mikey actually got me smoking. I remember that.
Yep.
He's the one that got me smoking. Remember his mom smoked Marlboro Reds or Marlboro Lights?
Stupid kids. It is what it is.
I remember he was stealing some out of her car, the ashtray in her car, or stealing a few of her cigarettes. That's when I started. I was around like 12 years old.
Earlier than that.
Then of course everybody else had to start smoking too. I've pretty much been smoking ever since.
How was that? I might be moving, but I'm listening. I don't need to sit here and watch myself. Like, I don't need to watch.
Yeah, there was
Most important thing about these videos is not the presentation, how I look. Oh, it's a green screen. Oh, I'm not professionally set up. I don't have a background. All the fancy lighting. My PC's not set up because of that to record. I'm not looking all pretty. I'm not wearing sunglasses. I don't have $100 plus headphones on. I don't have my $350 microphone anymore. My kid's broke. Whatever you see is irrelevant. The information is what's important. What I'm saying, what I'm expressing, not whatever I'm doing there or there at all. So I'm not going to play that game and be performative. I will be respectful enough to not look like a hobo here. I'm wearing a clean shirt, regular hat. Only thing I'm just not clean shaved because I haven't shaved at all this week. I've showered, but I just didn't feel like shaving because I don't like that. Most people a week, their whole face would probably look like this. Like, even my mustache is just like barely above sandpaper. Again, I'm not self-oriented. I'm not I am far, far more than what is seen. There's far more within than what can be expressed, shown, said, etc. And people out there where that's not the case, I'm just explaining me here.
Time period where I think that Junkie and
Shut up.
they broke up, and it was actually good times then.
I'm just sitting my legs up.
Actually, she was pregnant with his kid. He was never around.
Nope.
Go figure.
Yep. You're still not.
Those were actually good times because I remember everybody used to hang out at their house then. Everybody used to have a good time. And I remember we were hanging out. And one of our friends, he asked to use another guy's car. He had a
Saturn.
A little Saturn.
Whee!
And we took it for a drive. It was 4 of us.
Nottingham Street, Plymouth, Pennsylvania. The steep hill part goes up and then it flattens out for a side street and then it goes back up like that. It literally goes up like steep, street, hill. Like literally it's just one little side street that's like, I don't know, however wide a thin street is. Basically the length of two cars next to each other. That's the whole street. We jumped it. If you want a visual, go look on the map, you'll see.
I think where I was sitting, I don't know if I was in the back seat or front. I think I was in the back seat. But we went up this one huge, steep ass hill. And I mean, it's one of the steepest in town. And it goes up, and there's a crossroad at the top, well, 3/4 of the way to the top of it. It goes up, and it flattens out, and it goes up again. And we're at the bottom of the stop sign. He guns it all the way up. Just kept it to the floor. Forgot about that street. We get to it. 4 of us in the car too. We were going so fast. We cleared the whole street. Freaking jumped. And here's where the other hill starts. It basically goes like that. We jumped and the front of the car came down like that and hit the frickin' street, and then we evened out. As soon as that car hit, man, the car just shut the fuck off. That was fun. I mean,
It was like a dart. It literally just
flying
went
up this
boom,
hill,
and then boop.
and then all of a sudden, shit, we're frickin' airborne. Totally airborne.
It's funny because we grew up in that town, and yet we forgot that street was even there. It was just, we're on the hill, and he just floored it, and just whoop, and we all completely forgot that freaking street was even there. So when we hit it, we weren't expecting. It was just like woohoo, and then boom, the car hit just like that, and it just shut off. Luckily, it started back up, and nothing was wrong.
Never told him though. What the hell?
He did eventually.
The car owner's name?
Jim?
Jay?
Jay. Yeah, Jay.
I forget what I think his name was Jay.
Yeah, Jay. I remember the last name now. I'm not saying any last names.
Yeah, gold, like a dull gold Saturn, little 4-door.
Early days when they were like one of the first where you could dent the body panels and they'll pop back in place.
I mean, it was like the size of a Cavalier. Never told him.
Hi, Kaiser.
The car was fine after that.
Good puppy dog. I know it's hot. We'll go upstairs in a
I
moment.
remember my mom. She actually got a camcorder that summer.
Honk, honk, honk.
Everybody being a ham in front of the camera because I was taking it out and taking it back there. Of course, everybody always freaking edging me on to do it. Go streak it. Streaking for the camera up and down the alleyway. That's where I live. It was like an alleyway that went right back and around, like I said before.
Rowlane, Roweln, Plymouth, Pennsylvania. That's the alleyway. There, yeah. There is a Google Map view of that, a street view.
Everybody tell me, yeah, go run up and down the street honking.
Grabbing your junk, honk, 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 honk.
So I snuck around the back of the house, freaking. I got naked and I grabbed my junk. I'm running up and down the street going honk, honk, honk. That was funny. Nobody else had the balls to do that though.
They took my clothes too, assholes.
All I had on was a pair of shoes.
They took my clothes, I remember. As usual, I knew it was coming.
Yeah, the videos will get better as I get closer to current times. Because, I mean, remembering that much of my childhood in detail and keeping everything in like a timeline just going forward, it'd be almost impossible. So I'm just trying to say what I can, or say what I can think of.
Yay! 6 minutes left. After 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours. And I got a lot more I could keep going. And people have problems with performance. I don't want to know. Well, I'm just thinking of what contemplate what's next.
I'm just thinking about everything I've said already. Yeah,
Yep.
Fishing. You always go down the river fishing. Those were fucking really good times. Really, really. Those
Lightning
are probably
storm?
the best times I've ever had
I probably not enough time to explain that one.
growing up with them guys. 'Cause those were usually the only time where they actually didn't act like douchebags.
Not all the time, but they still did. They never when That's one constant that I was extremely aware of, and it pissed me off. Whenever it was me and a friend, there was normalcy. There was no performance, there was no ego, no identity fight, no childish bickering, no bullshit. Just me and another person, no, nothing else, primarily. Added a third person at least, and every single time I wasn't there anymore. Like in 7th grade, when I started walking out of school, like skipping school, whenever I'd do it with my one buddy, Brian, we'd be just walking around, chilling, bullshitting, no nonsense, just hanging out, two friends. But whenever Tony was there, which I mentioned earlier, whenever he was there, them two would be yak, literally hours, just them two, and then suddenly I didn't exist. Like, I was the third wheel. I had to try to work my way into their conversations they kept having between each other, and not including me in anything they were even doing. I was just physically there. That's the kind of people I grew up around. I mean, that's not their choice. I mean, when it's just me, I'm enough. But when there's anybody else there, I'm not worth a damn. That's been constant all my life. Even my wife does that. I could see in my adulthood, again, being overly negative towards negativity. I don't understand why it was like that with childhood and teen years and whatnot. I don't know. That's just more bullshit. It is what it is.
Good fishing down the river too. We never eat. You don't eat the fish at the Susquehanna River.
No.
Don't.
No.
Especially not around here with all the mines and the pollution and nasty shit in there. Nowadays, I mean, for past freaking 15 years at least, it sucks.
Yeah.
Absolutely sucks.
Development.
Growing up, it was great. I mean, the bass were everywhere. The smallmouth and the freaking rock bass. Catch catfish all the time. I mean, it was the bluegill. I mean, you go down there, there wasn't a single time where you didn't catch anything. I mean, there was never a single time where you didn't catch anything.
Unless the weather was wrong. The reason why it's sucked since then, and even worse now, development. Tear down more natural things, forests, trees, bushes, everything. Basically, stop the ground and nature from absorbing most of the water and just dump it directly into the river. And then the river goes up and down so much, those small fish on shore get washed away so much that they don't have a chance to develop. So there's the area I grew up fishing in, there's nothing there anymore. There's no crappie. There's no smallmouth near land, no rock bass, no bluegill, nothing right there at shore where you can throw a bobber in and your bobber's going crazy because there's a school of bluegill there. No, not anymore. I haven't had that fishing down there anytime I've gone down there, no matter what the weather is, since childhood, since my teen years. And again, well, what's the difference? Again, the state of the water. The water just goes up and goes down so drastically because the ground around the area no longer is absorbing it all, or most of it, that it's just washing everything away. Like the creeks that run in, like in Plymouth, one main creek that comes off the mountain and goes all the way down into the river. From the top end of town all the way to the river, they redesigned it where it's not, dirt, mud, rocks, nature. Now it's a cement structure like that. Nothing is absorbed in the ground anymore. It's just cement. So everything that goes through there goes straight to the river. And I'm going to say probably most places are more developed in that way than letting the ground absorb naturally. Therefore, and this is my own observation, I'm not deterred. This is my own determination. So the water just goes straight to the river mostly, and again, more houses, that's less absorption in the ground and the plants and everything else, the soil. So now it's all going straight to the river more than it used to, than it does naturally. So now what gets influenced? The natural life in the water. That is my own deduction of it. Observation over the years of always living in this area.
When down there when the river was like really
That's enough.
high, you know, shit like that. But if the river was at normal level, calm, and everything was good, you always caught something. Excuse me. No matter where you went to, you always
Did I just
caught
fart?
something.
I think I did.
I remember there was a freaking rock bass sitting right next to land. He wouldn't eat anything.
Ah, marshmallow.
Freaking dangle a worm in front of his face, wouldn't eat it. I remember put a freaking piece of marshmallow on a hook. I dabbed that on the top of the water. He came up and got it.
I just told my kid that story the other day.
And yeah, they never picked on me, verbally or physically, when we went fishing, because I always did it to myself.
Oh.
The joke
Oh.
was, pretty much every time we went fishing, I'd fall in. 75% of the time that was true. I'd either slip on a rock and fall in the water, or slip down a hill, fall
Almost.
in. It's always falling in. Yeah, we had a lot of family moments down there too.
Yeah.
I remember like me, my dad, my friends, my brother, my nephew, we'd go down there fishing together.
Actually, that was one of the most enjoyable.
Last time we did that was night fishing at Francis Slocum, the big lake. We'd go night fishing.
2
Last
minutes.
time I was fishing, my dad was then.
3.5
He didn't
hours.
fish. I mean, I think it was me, Mike, and my brother.
Fan. It's hot. 99 degrees. I don't have any AC right now. That's
down there behind my
upstairs.
Grams before we lived with her.
Got a fan.
And there was this metal sewer pipe, whatever, giant metal pipe that went into the water, and on top of it was all muddy. And I think it was right after my brother said not to step on it, watch it, it's muddy, it's slippery.
Whoop.
I step on it. I went right into the water. I literally slipped and I went freaking like 5 yards out. I don't know how. I just happened so quick. And I remember I don't remember touching the bottom. I just remember flailing so hard with my freaking arms, my legs. I don't remember ever going underwater, and pretty sure I didn't.
Didn't touch the floor, the ground,
Fell
nor
in,
did my head
got
go
out,
underwater.
went to my Grams, got to change the clothes and shit. That was funny. I don't remember touching the bottom. But I know I didn't go underwater. That was the only time where I actually fell in, like really fell in. Other than, like almost up to my waist. You
30
slip and fall,
seconds.
like, your bottom of your legs fall in or something like that. That was the only time where I...
Now the question is this another one that gets ended early, interrupted, or did I actually stop this time? I don't know.
I fully fell in. Like as if I jumped in. Freaking, because growing up around here, you fear the Susquehanna. Or at least everybody I was ever around. Because, I mean, the mine shafts, the currents, the undercurrents.
Yeah. Why the hell did it end there? I don't know, because I haven't watched the 4th episode yet, and I'm assuming I'm going to say something then, like, you know, sorry, interrupted again, which I usually start that way. That was a long one, 3.5 hours again. And again, people have problems performing. I could just be me all the time, all the mother-licking time. That's the point. Like, I don't need to make effort to perform. I'm just going to simply be me all the time. And my orientation is being. So it's easy for me. I don't need to work from self to being. Performance is the self. Oh. All right, again, I'm just speaking from being here. I'm speaking from my own being, experience, understanding, information, point of view. Point of view. I am not dictating anything for anyone, not towards anyone, not on, over, or under anyone. I am simply expressing from me. That's it. I'm not telling anybody how to take it. That is yours and yours alone. Not for me or anyone else to determine. Nor is anyone else there to determine anything of me against me. Because again, what reason? This is more freaking bull crap. Like, ulterior motives. That's one of the subject one of them I wanted to cover today too, which too late now. I've already done this enough. I have none. I am just expressing openly and freely with no motives, no ulterior motives, no agenda, no nothing. Just, here's me. Think whatever the fuck you want. That's it. Have a nice day. See you in the next episode.